Hey, everybody, welcome back. My name is Bobby Borg, music marketing for the DIY musician, creating and executing a plan of attack on a low budget, and I am here to help you turn your art into a more successful business. We are talking about strategy, and we are now talking about product branding. Now, the first thing in your minds might be, what's the difference from company branding and product branding? Aren't they all the same thing? Well, they definitely are seamless, but they are not the same thing, and let me explain. Let's just take, for example, Ford Motor Company. You have Ford Motor Company, which stands for, American, built strong and tough. But then you have the different brands underneath that. So you have your Ford Mustang, you have your Ford Explorer, you have your Ford Escort, etc., and so on and so forth. These are all product brands that fit under the umbrella of Ford Company. However, they all have their own distinct characteristics. For example, the F-100 truck is built strong, and that's for the guy that wants to throw stuff in the back and move things around. And then you have the Ford Pinto, the person that wants to have a little bit more of an economy car and drive around and save on gas. But they all are still built Ford tough. Do you get what I mean with that? Very, very important concept. And the reason why I actually make it, stress this point is because when you are creating your products, you need to make sure that they're consistent with your company brand and what your brand stands for. You don't want any delusion or confusion in the marketplace, okay? Now, did you guys know that the company Procter & Gamble makes Nature Valley dressing, and they also make Clorox bleach, okay? You don't want to know that, do you? Because you get these images of some guy stirring up the Clorox and the other guy stirring up the Nature Valley dressing right next to each other. Hey, Frank, how you doing today? And you're worried that some of the Clorox might spill into the Nature Valley dressing. Not that that's the way it's made, but of course that's the image. And so what Procter & Gamble does is they create what's called a separation strategy. They don't let you know that it's the same product, okay? Now, how might that work in the music business? Well, let's take an artist, let's just say 50 Cent, for example. 50 Cent is a rapper, and he stands for, maybe a tougher guy, used to be in gangs, used to sell drugs, etc., and so on and so forth. And he has a certain image that he puts there out as a rapper. But then when it actually comes to his acting career, he is now named something different. He is not 50 Cent, the rapper, anymore. He now goes by his name. Now, why would he do that? We still know it's 50 Cent. It's no surprise or no hiding anything from us. But I think he's making a point that, hey, look, this is my rapper career, and then over here is my acting career. And the two are separate. I can play the principal, I can play the president, I can play the basketball coach. Because otherwise, if it's 50 Cent, the actor, directors are only going to get him for those certain kind of roles, So he is putting out a brand out there. He's putting out an identity so that he's perceived differently. So that's why we need to be so cognizant about what's called brand structure, okay? All right, so now let's move on to actually creating brand identity strategy for your actual products. It's the same thing that you're going to do for your company as well. So what we're going to do is we're first going to name our products, right? So for example, you have a name of your album. Then you can create a graphic for the actual album cover, right? Which hopefully the visual is going to really, really help display what it is that you do. Right? And again, you need to be very, very clear. I'm going to tell you another quick story. At the Taxi Road Rally where I was speaking, perhaps you guys have heard of it, it's a great convention, somebody came up to me and they showed me their record, and it was a truck kind of skidding sideways, with dust, and it said, "The hell with the devil." And I said, oh, so this is a metal record, right? And they kind of laughed and they go, "No, we're a Christian band." And I was like, what? Wow. So now you see how that could be confusing. I kind of get it now, the hell with the devil, we're a Christian band, but it's mixed messages, and they're not always going to be standing next to my shoulder to tell me or to correct me. So you really need to make sure to put out the right identity that's consistent with your company, okay? Moving on, you can create slogans as well for your different products and services. You can come up with certain graphics and the way you write your name and the way you convey your content that's going to be consistent with the company as well. All right? Now, let me just go to the book real quick because I want to just talk to you about one other really important thing when you're actually putting together your branding for your products. Make sure also to use the right colors as well. So the right colors are going to match with your personality and character. And then finally, you want to actually create a position for each one of your products as well, especially if you have a product line, because you don't want to confuse the audience and have them go, well, why should we buy this if we have this? So let's just say, for example, when I had my Apple iPhone, I also had a Mac Pro computer as well. But then all of a sudden, the iPad came out, and it's like, where does that fit? I mean, I have the phone, I have the computer, and now I have this thing. I mean, so you have to create a position to let people understand how it's different from your other products so that you're not even competing against yourself as well. And then, of course, you need to position it against other products in the marketplace as well. So I'm going to read this from the book on page 95. When Pat Metheny, which is an excellent jazz guitar player, came out, he introduced his record Orchestron by saying on CBS, on a news feature, that it was the first and never to be done again technological project intended to push new limits and awe and entertain audiences. And that's how he was trying to position it in the minds of the customer as something being very, very technology driven. And it certainly was. He had a stage of robots on stage that was playing the instruments with him, and it was absolutely amazing. So he found a way to position his records from all his other records and position them from all other jazz records as well. Again, uniqueness is the key to success, you guys. So definitely, please play this chapter again because it's very, very important. Get the book and read that chapter and work on creating a company brand and product brand that's going to set you apart in the marketplace. So again, my name is Bobby Borg, and I'm here to help you turn your art into a more successful business. Now we're going to start talking about taking your image, your brand image, and making that a reality. And we're going to talk about product development next. So stay tuned. Thank you.